Photosynthesis is how plants use sunlight to make food. They absorb sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to produce glucose and release oxygen. This happens in chloroplasts, which are special parts of the plant cells. The process has two stages, light-dependent reactions and light-independent reactions. In the light-dependent reactions, sunlight energizes electrons, creating ATP and NADPH. In the light-independent reactions, ATP and NADPH convert carbon dioxide into glucose. Photosynthesis is important because it produces food for plants and oxygen for us to breathe. Contact-dependent communication is the way cells communicate by physically touching each other. It involves special proteins on cell membranes, gap junctions that create channels between cells, tunneling nanotubes that connect cells over long distances, and cell-to-cell adhesion molecules. These mechanisms allow cells to exchange signals and coordinate their actions, affecting growth, development, and other important processes in the body.
Now mitosis, the process by which cells split up into two identical daughter cells. First is interphase, where DNA is copied and the cell grows to prepare for division. Then prophase, where chromosomes pair up. Then metaphase, where the chromosomes line up at opposite sides of the cell and the meiotic spindle attaches itself to the chromatids. Then anaphase, the sister chromatids are actually pulled apart. And then telophase, the cell basically pinches down the middle and splits apart into finally two identical daughter cells. And then mitosis is complete. Now meiosis, the process by which sex cells or gametes are made. First is interphase, where the cell replicates its DNA like in mitosis and prepares for division. Then meiosis 1, where independent assortment occurs and homologous chromosomes, which are chromosomes which encode for the same thing, undergo independent assortment, where parts from both chromosomes shuffle, leading to a mix of genetic material from paternal and maternal sources in one chromosome, which results in greater genetic diversity for offspring. Once independent assortment occurs, the cell splits apart in two. Finally, meiosis 2, where the two diploid cells formed in meiosis 1, which possess two copies of homologous chromosomes, split up into four daughter nuclei, which only possess one copy of homologous chromosomes, and are the complete sex cells and gametes, and with that, meiosis is complete.
The electron transport chain is a vital process that occurs in the inner mitochondrial membrane of cells. It plays a central role in cellular respiration, which is the process by which cells generate energy in the form of ATP. The electron transport chain consists of a series of protein complexes and electron carriers embedded in the mitochondrial membrane. It receives high-energy electrons obtained from the breakdown of molecules like glucose and transfers them through a cascade of reactions. First, electron donors such as NADH and FADH2 donate their electrons to the first protein complex in the chain. Second, as electrons move through the chain, they pass from one protein complex to another, gradually losing energy along the way. Third, this energy loss drives the pumping of electrons from the mitochondrial matrix to the intermembrane space, creating an electrochemical gradient. Fourth, the final electron acceptor in the chain is oxygen, which combines with electrons and protons to form water. Fifth, the flow of protons back into the mitochondrial matrix through an enzyme called ATP synthase harnesses the energy stored in the electrochemical gradient. Sixth, this process drives the production of ATP, which is the primary energy currency of cells.
Now the cell cycle, which is the series of steps and stages that a cell goes through in its lifetime. First is G0, where the cell operates normally, then G1, where the cell undergoes growth, and finally S, where the S or synthesis stage, where the cell prepares for mitosis by doing DNA replication, and then G2, where the cell further prepares for mitosis, and then finally all of the stages of mitosis and the cell divides. And then this repeats again for the next cell. Now apoptosis, which is the process of programmed cell death. First is chromatin condensation, where DNA and proteins in the nucleus compact, then membrane blebbing, where the cell starts to bulge, and then nuclear collapse, which is when the nucleus just simply falls apart, and then an apoptotic body is formed, which simply consists of the remnants of the fallen apart cell contained in distinct vesicles.